Today, we're going to talk about the city rich with culture and Renaissance art, Florence. Florence, being a vital city of Italy, takes you on a journey of love that you end up cherishing. You fall in love with the diverse art, the Italian history, and the best gelato in the world. The Italian city is a living museum, with every street, alley, and building brimming with history. Florence is frequently said to be the cradle of the Renaissance. This city in the northern hills of Italy produced the period's first writers and artists. And to know more about the city and what you can do once you step here, stick till the end of the video. Here's the top 5 things you can do when you come to visit Florence. Number 5. Say hello to David and Galleria dell'Accademia. Despite the fact that the Galleria dell'Accademia has more historical works of art than most entire cities, it appears that this museum was created to particularly showcase David. Even if you're not the most artistic person in the room, you'll want to look at the man Michelangelo, carved out of a single abandoned slab of marble 500 years ago, down to the veins in his arm. It's one of the most absolute must-sees in Florence. Even if it means standing in line for a while, the selfie with David will be well worth the wait. The Accademia is one of the best locations to attend if you enjoy opera, theater, and classical music. It houses the Grand Ducal collection of 40 instruments. The collection reveals that music was an important part of the Medicean court's official ceremonies. Explore the history of the piano, which was invented for the Medici by Bartolomeo Cristofori, and the collection of harpsichords, violins, violoncellos, and wind instruments. The Accademia moved some of its own artwork to other galleries over the years and brought in works that are still in use today. The Prisoners and St. Matthew statues by Michelangelo were brought in as main attractions. Champignon's Rape of the Sabine Women and the Exhibition of Musical Instruments are 2 more fascinating works at the Accademia. The museum is comparatively similar to the Uffizi and will take you around 2 hours to complete the visit, but that also depends on how fond you are of art. The longer you stare at the art, the longer it will take. If you give yourself a little more time to tour the museum, you'll find that the Accademia has a lot more to offer in the less crowded galleries, satisfying any curiosity for botany, music, art symbols, and painting techniques. Number 4. The Uffizi. You can say that you visited Florence, but if you didn't roam around the Uffizi Gallery, then that visit doesn't count as one. The Uffizi Gallery, one of the most famous museums in the world, which welcomes over 1 million visitors each year, is a must-see for anyone visiting Florence and Tuscany. The Uffizi, along with the Vatican museums in Rome, are Italy's top 2 most visited museums by visitors from all over the world. And it's not only famous for the masterpieces it houses, but also for the long lines at the entrance of the museum. Here you will find Botticelli's most famous works, The Birth of Venus. If you arrive early enough, you could get the 15th century painting to yourself, but don't spend too much time at Venus's feet because there are hundreds more great paintings to see. At least allot yourself 3 hours to explore the horseshoe-shaped gallery and see everything worth seeing. Furthermore, the venue is architecturally fascinating, built in the 16th century and designed by Italian painter Giorgio Vasari. The extending colonnades, linear columns, and traditional pediments all contribute to the classical design, a perfect match for the incredible artwork housed within its walls. Some of the other masterpieces include Coronation of the Virgin by Fra Angelico Laccone and his sons Bassio Bandinelli, Madonna with the Long Neck by Parmigiano, and many more. The gallery houses an almost unparalleled collection of masterpieces, and while it's popular with tourists, it's a must-see if you're visiting the birthplace of the Renaissance. Number 3. Gelato Rush. Done enough art hunt? Roamed around enough museums? Now it's time to treat your palates well with that one thing that Florence is famous for, and that is gelato. People from all over the world visit the Renaissance city for its virgin art, outstanding architecture, and above all, its mouth-watering gelato. This delectable dessert is said to have originated in Florence. making the city one of the best in the world for indulging in the delectable treat. There are many great gelato options in Florence, but be wary of sky-high piles of brightly colored gelati. There are many places serving ice cream in Florence, but not all follow traditional recipes. One of the best places in town is Gelateria La Caraya, which serves flavor-packed gelato with a creamy texture. This well-known gelateria is famous for its light and fluffy consistency, and you can be sure that the gelato is made according to a centuries-old recipe and no modern tricks are applied here. If you're a gelato connoisseur, a visit to Vivoli is a must. If only to tell your other gelato connoisseur friends that you've been there, done that. Starting with Vivoli, the city's best gelaterias are still competing for your amusement today. They began making gelato in the 1930s, where ice had to be transported down from the Apennine Mountains in blocks. Even while there is refrigeration nowadays, the flavors are no less delicious. Because you might need a new belt after this, it's a good thing there are so many leather shops around. If you're trying to save money, Vivoli may be €1 more than you're willing to spend on gelato, especially with their small portions that others may normally serve more. And the good news is that it's all right. There are plenty of other great gelato places in Florence. Number 2. Arno River. The Arno was extremely important in Florence's economic development between the 12th and 14th centuries, because many work sectors required water, like mills, for example. The Arno flows beneath many bridges in Florence, providing a sense of continuity to the city. It feels more refreshing to tour on the water than to roast in the Florence sun. Toscana's SUP allows you to try paddleboarding on one of the world's most famous rivers. You'll be able to pass underneath the famous Ponte Vecchio and see the city from the water, free of crowds and heat. This is an excellent opportunity for those who are tired of museums, and you will leave with a great story and top-tier photos. It's equally as lovely from a distance. Of course, there are those who simply want to watch the water float by, which is fine as well, especially in the summer, where there are numerous establishments along the banks where you can relax with a glass of Prosecco, a few snacks, and an hour or two to spare. There are several bars with river views and live music that are ideal for a romantic or rowdy happy hour. Number 1. The Cathedral of St. Mary of the Flower. You've probably previously heard, seen, or read about this iconic dome. It was the largest in the world until 1881, and clambering up to the lantern at the very top of the structure will take you to the highest point in central Florence, if you don't mind 463 steps and some tight areas. The Duomo of Florence, also known as the Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral or Florence Cathedral, is the episcopal seat of the Archdiocese of Florence. It is regarded as one of the greatest Gothic masterpieces and the first Italian Renaissance. With the length of 160 meters, a width of 43 meters, and a transverse nave of 90 meters, this Florence Cathedral is one of the greatest churches in Christianity. The dome's inner height is 100 meters. It's also an emblem of the Tuscan capital's richness and power in the 13th and 14th centuries. Its name is derived from the flower, Florence's symbol, and Fiorenza, the town's old name. Only the Basilica of St. Peter in Vatican City, St. Paul's Cathedral in London, and the Cathedral of Seville and the Cathedral of Milan are larger than the Florence Cathedral today. However, at that time, this cathedral was the largest in Europe, seating 30,000 people. Florence's historical center is relatively small and can be easily covered on foot. There are several attractions in the vicinity of the Basilica of Santa Maria del Fiore that can be visited and bear witness to the city's cultural and artistic life. You can't deny Florence's beauty, but if you want to venture farther afield on the quieter hillsides, head to Fiesole. A short bus ride north of the city will take you to the peak of this hilltop town, which overlooks the Valley of Florence and offers a stunning view. You can tour a Roman theater, the San Francesco convent, where you can even explore the monks' rooms, or head to the wilder side of town and the hiking trails of Monte Circe, where Da Vinci first tried out his flying machines, from the main piazza. Gelato awaits you in the city of love. David has its eyes glued to the Galleria's door. When are you planning to come and taste the gelato? When are you planning to come say hello to David? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, where to next?